Today, most people in the Middle East largely think that Donald Trump is going to strike Pickaxe Mountain, which is the fourth nuclear site of the Islamic Republic, after he came out in a press statement and said that we will hit them for sure, and there's nothing that the Islamic Republic can do about it. We're eagerly awaiting that because we also saw B-1 bombers take off from Britain earlier today, and people largely think that that means tonight. Usually when we go live, the bombings of the nuclear facility will begin. Now, as of now, we don't see any activity by the United States Air Force or Navy along the southern coast of Iran, which would be the, I think, 12th night in a row. They're scheduled to continuing that. Pickaxe did say so himself, but we're not seeing anything so far. We're going to cover that another ship got hit, the vast amount of U.S. refueling tankers that are pouring into the Middle East, the IRGC troop and tank movements and where they're bringing them, as well as some statements that no government should be making on its own country or soil, some Prince Reza Pahlavi updates, and we will be looking to see, is Pickaxe Mountain going to be destroyed tonight? Is something significant going to happen? The blockade is still in effect. The USS Boxer is actually right there. It's 40 miles off the coast of Oman. It's in theater with thousands of Marines on board, as well as 50,000 personnel in the Middle East of the United States ready to go with a potential invasion into the Islamic Republic. So what's going to be decided? We will see. Probably my best guess is within probably a week or two maximum. And we also have some interesting reports, Armin. I want to get your thoughts on this. A lot of people are coming out, a lot of different intelligence agencies, along with news reporters, are coming out and saying it looks like diplomacy is not getting us anywhere. It also looks like the strikes at this intensity are also not getting us anywhere with the Islamic Republic, suggesting that, hey, we got to do more. We got to really hurt them, hit them where it hurts. And what do you think? Do you think these strikes are having a massive effect on the Islamic Republic? Or do we think we should do more?
Well, obviously, I'm going to say we should do more for sure. We also have news from Ynet suggesting that the Trump administration is back to wanting to do regime change, going full regime change mode instead of containment strategy. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, that's what I've been seeing is people are just saying, hey, this isn't working. Negotiating isn't working. Hitting them a little bit like this isn't working. Finish the job.
Interesting. How no, but the report from Ynet suggested that President Trump is basically now moving based on that strategy. I don't know how much to trust this report from Ynet, but they are saying that according to people within the White House, the strategy is shifting. Again, I don't know how accurate this is. It could be true, it could not be true, but this is big news.
Yeah,
Pickaxe Mountain, President Trump mentioning twice also in his meeting with President Aoun of Lebanon, is also a big deal. This is huge.
Yeah, and him saying that means that the Islamic Republic can do nothing about it. Yeah. The IRGC came out and said, if you strike our nuclear facility, we will destroy everything in the region, all U.S. interests in the region, which means, all their allies, even, maybe Amazon headquarters in the Emirates or something like that. Everything's on the table for them. Here's the thing. There is a possibility, and I don't want to disappoint, there's a possibility that what we're doing, what the United States is doing at the moment, is completely sufficient for them. They will neither escalate the strikes nor decrease their intensity. They will continue to do this. And that will largely be the position that they're in. There's a possibility that's the case. There's another scenario where they do land some troops on the southern coast. They go in, they destroy some missile cities, they take over the missile launchers, they create a perimeter, a zone where the Strait of Hormuz is safe now. There's also a possibility that they just conduct a massive air campaign. They start targeting the IRGC police stations, bases, checkpoints, put pressure on the Islamic Republic where it really hurts them, which is a potential uprising from the Iranian people. There's many options on the table. My question is If it's up to Dan Kane and Brad Cooper, I think they'll go in. They'll finish the job. They'll hit the Islamic Republic where it really hurts. My question is, how limited are they? Is President Trump really seeking another round of negotiations, which is very high possibility? Or is he really fed up? I mean, they've targeted his family, they've targeted him, all these statements about trying to kill him, they're putting the bounties, repeated display of, hey, we don't care. We're going to negotiate with you guys until Trump's out of office. Has it really pushed him over a decision-making line here?
Why not both? I mean, even if you want full regime change, one strategy is to just keep talking to the regime because you don't want them to use everything that they have if they figure out that you're going for regime change.
Yeah.
There's that.
That's the thing we can't tell. Wait, do you have my audio?
Yes, I do. Do you have my audio?
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. And so let's get started on the map here so we can go through the events of the past 24 hours for you guys. Some pretty interesting thing happened today. So
Okay,
as of last night, I'm checking, and boom, another ship got hit. So pull that up for you guys as well. I think it was what country flag was it? Oh my god, X is taking forever to load up. Here we go. So, that's why. I see. There we go. So, the crew had to evacuate because another ship got hit, got set on fire. Again, the southern route where the United States is bringing ships through the Strait of Hormuz. So it looks like ships are actually still going through to a large extent because the IRGC do not like it, and they're hitting one every single day. We don't know what flag this ship was, but the captain, after evacuating his crew, getting them on a lifeboat, reported that all the crew are safe and that there's no significant leakage of oil into the Persian Gulf there. That's the first thing that happened. But then there's something significant. Let's go to Israel. So guys, if you didn't know, Israel actually has a coastal port in the Red Sea here, and right there. It's called Eilat. And there's a couple of bases in Jordan as well here that the United States put some refueling tankers. There's Prince Sultan Air Base near Riyadh, various different countries. Well, we have information that over the last 24 hours, there has been a significant amount of tankers that are moving from the United States. 217, actually. There are 97 of them in CENTCOM. There's another 77 in Europe. And then the 41 of them that moved from rotation out of the Middle East into Europe and back into the US. Some of those are actually coming back. And there's only 2 that we don't know. So we actually have possibly 200 refueling tankers that are going to be taking part in this upcoming operation. And if we take a look at the Chinese satellites, the information that they give us is that the Chinese, and largely us in the public internet, see that there are 123 tankers that took flight and conducted some sort of operation in the past 3 days. Every single day, 41 tankers are conducting operations. So that's the intensity that we can see. The strikes that have been happening along the southern coast of Iran, that means 40 tankers. We have 200. We have 200 that we could use. So that means the intensity of these strikes could be several fold, and I believe that they will be. And that's just based off of the logistics here. So they're also saying here, according to the satellite which tracking, this is also the same way that I first figure out we were moving ships through the Strait of Hormuz without the IRGC finding out in the beginning. That's why the price of oil was staying low. And
You
they're
figured that
saying that
you figured that out
yeah,
before mainstream media, before anyone
yeah,
else. That was pretty cool.
yeah, the Chinese intel. Look, everything here is in Chinese, by the way, but it just followed the lines and it made sense. These lines are all of the refueling tanker operation activities. So you can see they're well into the Persian Gulf right there in the middle of it, really, really close to Iran. Then they fly back more inland to land and have a safe area. Again, last 3 days, 123. 41 of them per day. And roughly of those, I think it was about, where is it? So at minimum, for example, yesterday, at minimum 17 refueling tankers were used in that operation. So that was a pretty intensive bombing campaign that I saw last night. That was 17. We have at least 5 more in the immediate Middle East area. So that means the intensity of last night's strikes can be 5 times more, if not 10 times more, bringing in all the refueling tankers from Europe. And we might do that. We actually might do that. So something got leaked. Up here in Bulgaria, there were some refueling tankers by the United States of America. And they got found out by the Bulgarian government because the IRGC, this guy, the foreign spokesperson, directly threatened Bulgaria and said that that country is hosting U.S. refueling tankers, prompting the Bulgarian parliament to immediately pass a vote on whether or not they should allow this. Looks like they didn't even know that was happening. And that's currently up for vote right now. So I think there was about 7 refueling tankers. Let me just double check that. Make sure that's a correct number. 8. So there's 8 refueling tankers in Bulgaria. They had them at a regular civilian airport. Got found out, looks like by Chinese satellites. They told the Islamic Republic, issued the threat. So we have some assets in Europe that might be used for it. So again, Bulgaria, guys, is right there. It's right above Greece, right next to Turkey. And it's not too far away from northern Iran here. Let's take a look at the troop movements that the IRGC are conducting. So the IRGC are now moving more and more tanks into southern Iran. Let me take a look at this clip. They're moving a lot of armor, actually, significant amounts of armor, which during the Iran-Iraq War, the last major war that Iran participated in, this was the place where Saddam Hussein was able to launch an invasion into Iran and was largely successful in the beginning.
Wait,
that's the
this
border.
is fake though.
This
video is fake. What do they say this is? What do they claim this is?
These are IRGC tanks moving towards Khuzestan.
Yeah, this is old.
This is old?
Yeah.
Really? This is a DEJ posting it.
I know, but this is wrong. DJ made a mistake.
Oh man.
Yeah,
I know
DJ usually doesn't. Yeah, DJ doesn't make usually mistakes, but this video I think is confirmed that it's old, and
okay.
There is a lot of rumor that the Islamic Republic is going to do a land attack on Kuwait. Iran and Kuwait don't share a border.
Yeah, they don't. There's a 20-kilometer, actually, I think 50-kilometer stretch of land between them.
But I think this is old. But like, double check that. Maybe I'm wrong.
Okay.
Maybe they're wrong. Right.
No, I could be right.
But there is a lot of rumor in Iran that there's going to be a land attack on Kuwait. But that video I think is old. Like, maybe you could send it to me while you're talking. I could do some research.
Sure. Yeah. No, thanks for pointing that out. That may be old, but however, we did see another clip that was confirmed from the south of Esfahan also moving tanks. So they are moving it in some capacity. Again, guys, they can move as many tanks as they want. Is it going to make a difference? They have no aerial, threats. So we can just move our planes in and take them out whenever we like. Not a big difference. It's kind of like Pakistan fighting the Taliban, actually, because the Pakistanis have an air force and the Afghanis don't. So it's kind of a one-sided war there. We can, however, see this clip. This was confirmed that they're instead moving missile launchers in a very conceited way. Take a look at this truck.
امید جون ارادت امروز 29/4 ببین بیناموسا این جاده فرودگاه خمینی ملعونه ببین بیناموسا لانچرها رو اینجوری میبرن اینا تریلیای لانچره یه دونه ماشینم پشت اسکورت میکنه یعنی حرومزادا با ماشین شخصیای مردم میبرن.
So this clip did get verified by multiple figures, including Iran International. This is a mobile missile launcher that the Islamic Republic has, and they're moving it. You can see a little bit better there. They're moving it from Imam Khomeini Airport, which is the biggest international airport in Iran. I think it's still south, my best guess. So we're not actually sure which road this is on. He didn't say which road it was, but so there's some pretty significant movements and how scared they are for their missile launchers not to get hit. There's an additional reports from open source intelligence that the Islamic Republic is moving in forces to the Khuzestan border. So again, that would be the Iran-Iraq border, trying to, potentially invade Kuwait. Guys, there's a 50-kilometer stretch. And quite frankly, I'm not sure how successful that would be. I think many of you guys could probably answer that statement for me. So with that, let me show you guys what's going to happen with Pickaxe Mountain. So let's begin with what we see out of the United Kingdom. So we were able to spot, at least people in Britain who like to watch the Fairford base and to see what picks up and what lands there, did manage to spot a B-1 bomber take off from Fairford. I actually know what the flight time is for them to reach the Middle East. I'm assuming it's probably maybe 10 hours or so, maybe a little bit longer. I'm really not sure about that one. But that is why largely people are believing that tonight we will see some sort of B-1, B-2 action. That, along with Trump's statements that he will hit Pickaxe Mountain and that there's nothing the Islamic Republic could possibly do about it. Those are all the troop movements that we've seen so far. Oh, again, for anyone that didn't hear, the USS Boxer is currently right around here. That's a Greek ship. So the USS Boxer is about 40 to 50 miles off the coast of Oman, about east. So it's somewhere in this general area in the Arabian Sea. And it's been hanging out there for a few days now. So it looks like they're pretty much ready in theater for whenever the orders may come for them to be used. Did you hear anything about the USS Boxer? Or do you think...
What direction is it moving towards?
It's just doing donuts. It just goes in a circle in this general area. Just hangs around here. Yeah. With that, we can show you guys a little bit of a comparison. Guys, this is a very prominent Iranian analyst, Iranian opposition, so people like me and Armin. And he is a very close friend to Morad Vaisi. In fact, they talk every day. And Morad Vaisi gets some of his analysis from this man, Mehdi Parpanchi. He did a little comparison that I thought was interesting, right? Of course, it's not apples to apples. It's not one-to-one. But he's saying that Iraq in 1991, so they had 60 military divisions. They had 5,700 tanks, 3,000 artillery, 900 aircraft, incredible defensive network, 1 million strong military, ballistic missiles, all of that, right? They had all of that. And he's saying that ultimately Saddam Hussein fell into a sort of delusion. He thought that if he hits the Persian Gulf infrastructure, the oil, so he set up He set the Kuwaiti oil on fire. He dumped oil into the Persian Gulf. He did all these things, and he thought that he could make the world put so much pressure on America that they would back off, and America would leave him alone and lack the ability to defeat him. Right? So he thought all this military power would, and the destruction of the Middle East would save him. And it turned out, as we all know in history, that turned out to be completely false. Actually made the United States and the other countries in the world band together more to destroy him. And Mehdi Parpanchi largely believes that the same scenario is happening. The Islamic Republic is treading down the same path. They exaggerate their own military capabilities. They think their enemy is weak. They fall into a delusion. They think that surviving means winning. And they're hitting the infrastructure of the Persian Gulf. So let's see if, maybe history won't repeat itself here, but there are some patterns that we're seeing. You can largely predict the outcome of that.
My name is Armin Navabi. I'm an Iranian political analyst with decades of experience fighting the Islamic regime inside and outside of Iran. Make sure you follow me for more, and also make sure you join our discussion group. I'm there almost every single day. Come talk to me there and the rest of the people there in our group calls. It's a great place to meet and talk to people who like talking about politics. The link is in the description and or in the bio. You could also get there by scanning the QR code on the screen. See you there.